meeting of the Beaufort County Board of Education is for August 12th. Agenda setting is called to order. We need an approval of the agenda.
I motion, we approve the agenda, to set the agenda.
Second?
Second.
Second, okay. Will second, any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. All right. Motion carries unanimously. Please stand up for the pledge of allegiance.
The flag flying.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You want to do the work session one first?
So wait a sec, we have to say the meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
And those present are the three officers, Dr. Rodriguez and Robin, and Molly was in here, but not in the room right this moment. The first order of business is the approval of the July 29 meeting minutes, which are here before us. Motion to approve.
These, it says July 1st.
Good pick up.
I'll make the correction.
All right. Did you want to make a motion, Kathy, to approve? Wait a second, this is.
Approve, it should be, no,
It should be maybe June.
it should be,
June 29th?
When did we
it
have that?
should be the June 8th, they were, the meeting was July
9th.
9th.
But the agenda setting was,
Well, we did have another agenda setting meeting.
No, your agenda
We
setting
didn't?
was, hold on. I'm sorry, I had the dates. So I had, it was July 1st.
Okay, and that's what it says on this, July 1st, but on this thing it says July
So
29th.
on the agenda, I have it wrong on the agenda.
It was the July 1st.
First, it was the July 1st
Okay.
meeting. I have it wrong on the agenda.
Okay.
where's the, oh, here.
Here, it's
Yes.
on there.
So it should be the July 1st,
Okay,
Right, because we were setting the things for
the July 9th meeting.
Right,
okay.
okay.
So the minutes themselves are correct.
The minute,
Correct.
yeah, the
Okay.
minutes look correct to me. So I move that we approve the minutes of the July 1st agenda setting meeting.
Hey, girl, welcome. So William, do you want to second that?
Oh, that's fine, I'll second it.
Okay, all those, any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Approved unanimously. Now we're gonna be talking about the agendas for the 20th school board meeting and then the final agenda for the work session. I would suggest we do the work session one first, unless anybody has a reason to go the other way. So,
I just got an email right before I came from Cecilia from Lynn Stokes Murray. She is not going to be able to come on Friday because she is out of town at another conference.
okay,
So
and do we have her on here yet?
I have her from 11:30 to 12,
All right,
so she is not going to be able to come.
yeah.
I don't have the agenda
It's
for
in-
Friday. No, we have Saturday.
Okay,
No, we don't.
it should be two separate
Yeah.
days.
Do you not have?
No, we have Saturday, September.
Here.
That's fine.
Just right.
Think about it. Thank you. But you don't want to.
It's hard to participate without the paper. Okay, so let's just, so we can remove on Friday, August 16th, the lobbyist in that 11:30-12 time slot.
What I don't have on here was what I had proposed, if we can put you were asking for points of celebration, and so I was thinking about the app, that,
That
Precocity?
the
Yeah.
precocity.
Sure.
If we can go ahead and put that on there, if you all can, and have Kiki Swinton talk about it, since that's a good thing.
Okay,
I'm getting, different towns or municipalities wanting to get engaged and.
yeah,
Oh, that's great.
Find out about it, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
it was great, everyone wearing those shirts. I
Yeah.
heard on Saturday, I heard
Yeah.
everyone asking about those shirts. The principals were all saying to Kiki, am I gonna get one of those shirts?
So, but do you think that might be 15 minutes and not 30?
Well, it could be, and you just,
What do you think?
Yeah.
I mean, we can change, you can change the time to whatever
Okay.
you want it to be.
All right, well, let's right now say that would be 15 minutes. We might come up with something else.
So
Where
from
we're at now?
11:30 to
So,
12:45,
the lobbyist is removed, they won't be here.
to 11:45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under the ACE, so the ACE agreement and the ACE representative, that is is that different than Dr. Lavecchio was supposed to come to one of our, meetings
That's
earlier
different.
and didn't come, so this is different.
This is different.
Okay,
This is Earl's talking about ACE representative as an alternate, and then I think Joanne at the last meeting said that we need to go ahead and take a look at the ACE agreement again, so you said put them together, so
Yeah, she did.
she was at the last
Okay.
agenda setting when she was
Okay.
here, so that's what that is.
Okay, so the ACE agreement, would be the current one, and that was the one that I think I was on the board when they.
Correct.
Like modified it or
Mhm.
amended it, I guess is the best word, okay.
Do they have a copy of the original agreement?
The original? Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Make
it's
sure
that,
the board members get a copy of that.
okay.
I agree, yeah, so, exactly, in board docs, we should have the original, and if there are other amendments, we should have those too.
Okay.
yeah,
Have
and the
the
most
whole
recent,
history.
yeah, the whole
Yeah.
history, that would be good, in board docs before the,
Yeah.
so we can, read up on it. So, do we need to schedule Dr. Lavecchio at one of the other meetings? Should I write him down for,
He was scheduled to come to a regular board meeting
Right.
under the superintendent's report, so he was out during the summer, so that's why we didn't have him. So I have him in the folder for the September meeting,
okay,
but that's up.
I just had him in my
Yeah.
notes too, so I wanted to make sure,
Yeah, I moved him to the September meeting.
okay.
So one thing I noticed is we get the public comments at the end, and, I mean, since this is.
Do you want it, that's where we did it the last time, you
Yeah.
put public comments
I
wherever you
think
wanted
that's
to.
good. I think that's fine, and plus then they've heard the discussion,
Right.
you know? And then we have them at the end of on the second
Second
day
day.
too. I think that's good. So let's just go through, so breakfast 8 to 8, this is going back on Friday, breakfast 8 to 8:30. 8:30 to 10 is, approving the agenda, et cetera. And then mental health crisis response.
Yep, so,
And-
they're ready.
Good.
So, Kiki's gonna do mental health. And that's essentially, what are we doing in terms of being proactive and agencies we're working with to support our kids. Then the next one, can we go?
Yeah, so
Okay.
keep going.
All right, so the next one is crisis response. And so we have a pretty elaborate and a pretty well laid out plan. In the event that something happens, right, that how our district responds to support families and kids. And so, just a brief point, the student at the Kraken who took his life the other day, right? That there was a response that kicked in immediately to support the families, and they organized that vigil and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of things that around that. Okay, and so those two pieces. So the first one is beforehand, what do we do to support kids in the preventative mode, and then what do we do when something happens?
Who's doing, is Jerry Henderson doing the second part?
Jerry Henderson is the crisis response
Okay,
one,
all right.
and Kiki
Kiki's
is.
doing the mental health.
That's right. Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, I I was the one that asked Dr. Rodriguez to do this. I
Yeah.
said, it's important at the beginning of the school
Yeah.
year, so people know what's available,
Yeah.
so we can try
Yes.
to avoid
Yeah.
children harming
Yes.
themselves or harming
Yeah.
somebody else or whatever. And I just thought we should know both ends of the spectrum,
Right.
prevention and then crisis
Right.
management once it's happened.
Yeah.
And we all have those red books, you know,
Yeah.
that are step by step for things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That when, you know,
Yeah, those,
those flip books,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Could you give us also an update on how they deal with, issues like immunizations?
on the immunizations, yeah.
But I don't think that's part of mental health, but we got 15 minutes right here.
So that,
Oh,
so
okay.
you wanna do, another health, put a topic of health or?
Yeah,
Yeah, or she could do it maybe before this,
yeah. Okay.
because it's not gonna take, let's say we give mental health 30 minutes and crisis response 30 minutes, that's generous, don't you think?
Okay.
So the approval agenda and notifying the meeting and all that, that's gonna take maybe 5 minutes, 5 minutes. So why doesn't she, especially because she's gonna be first with mental health, let's have her do immunization update. And you know who should be there is Wendy,
Yes.
because she's asking me questions about it.
Yeah, and I've been working with them. We actually had DHEC come in too, to work with our team, because what I didn't want, you know, the statute essentially says that they're allowed to come and they have 30 days to provide.
Right.
We can't keep them out. They gotta come, and so I was working through that with our staff, and that's where we had DHEC come in, so we can brief you on.
Yeah, I think I'd be really
Yeah.
good idea. All right, any further discussion about those three? All right, technology outcomes, that's what we've talked about for a while now. So this was the recommendation of the academics committee to the full board that was accepted. And correct me if I'm misstating that, but that we would have the technology team within our district present their assessment of the program.
And they have, they have that plan,
Yep.
and that's what they're gonna respond to is that
Yep.
plan and how we, you know, it was a multi-year plan, I think, and this was the last year, but
Exactly, and I don't think we've never had
Had
a.
An update,
An
okay.
update, yeah.
So I've seen, they've had the presentation, you know, for a while, so,
Okay.
it didn't come forward for other reasons.
Right,
They-
right.
They've had it, so you'll get it, I've seen the presentation twice now, because I'm having them
yeah.
on Monday meetings, go through it, so,
Yeah. Will we also get a copy of the written plan with the, you know?
yes.
Okay.
And I want you to know, they are following in that plan the ISTE standards, which are national standards for technology and educational technology. That's what's built into that plan. It's framed right out of this.
And I think when they were in front of the academic committee, I think that's what they told us. I think it would be good for them to mention that to the whole board, that this
Absolutely.
plan wasn't just picked out of the air, you know,
Right.
as people
The
sitting
background.
around.
That's right.
That the background, that
That's right.
it has teeth to it because it, you know,
When
meets these standards.
When I was inquiring about our plan and everything else for this purpose, my first question was, are we tied to the ISTE standards? Because that is national set
Great.
standards. And we are.
All right. Summer reading was another suggestion of mine to Dr. Rodriguez, is we need something about academics on here, and let's get an update on
Absolutely.
what happened with our
The
summer reading.
program, yeah.
Yep.
So who will do that one?
Carmen Dillon.
Carmen Dillon, that's
Yep,
what I was thinking.
and we're, actually, we'll have some good news to share.
Yay.
So Christy Robinson, is she the only one, or is March?
Yes. Chrissy's the only one. He's
For
the-
technology, okay, all right.
And then we got for 15 minutes instead of Lottie
The preposterity.
presentation.
And I can back up, if you don't think of anything else, I can just back up the time for everything else, if that's what you want.
Okay, all right. Let's just leave it like this for right this moment. Then we got lunch. Then we have the budget update, which is, that's,
Tanya's going to,
Okay.
Tanya's going to give you an update of,
where we are with the budget
mhm,
so far.
what county council has done and so forth.
Okay, perfect. And then we're gonna do the board budget, which is what we.
Board budget is, so, under the board budget, do you want me to list, those items that, those proposed for the board to discuss, like the travel, the
Right.
out of state,
Yes.
and all that,
So we have to discuss exactly out-of-state travel based on our budget, how are we gonna divvy that out?
Mhm.
Because not everybody can go to an out-of-state meeting, so that has to be determined. And then the other thing was a replacement of devices.
Replacement of devices.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think those are the two things, right?
Those are the two things,
Okay.
that's not,
As in what are we talking about as in replacement devices?
Everybody gets a tablet or
or
an
an
iPad
or a tablet.
or a tablet, and those are for 4 years, and we have a board member requesting that they wanna change prior to the 4 years. And it's expensive to change, and we don't get any credit for what the person already has. So I think that has to be a board decision, is that gonna be allowed or not? And it's $1,000.
Yes,
They wanna change the
Yeah.
one they have.
Yeah,
right. They don't like what they have anymore, so they want to get something different. So in order to get something different, we have to buy it, and it's close to $1,000 to buy it.
Well, why would they wanna get rid of what they want?
Because they're not comfortable using the device that they have.
but I think that's,
Yeah.
especially it's a good chunk of change, and our whole thing is we're trying to cut back.
Mhm.
So I think the board should decide if that's, we're gonna do that or not. Okay. We already talked about the ACE agreement and then, Earl's, discussion about the ACE representative. You know what else we should have? We should have the documentation that, and it was hard for me to find honestly, when I think it's on the ACE website, about how the board is composed there, because our first meeting, January 2, I had done quite a bit of research to see how is that board composed, because on our agenda was that I had to, or whoever became the chair had to appoint two representatives. But it really needs to be clarified how long they're on there, et cetera, so we need that document loaded in with this.
Now, there's something that Dr. Lavecchio, when I saw him Saturday at the Battery Creek thing, said was coming up.
Meeting.
Yeah,
It
the
was
day
ACE
on the
meeting.
22nd.
No, I didn't think it was a meeting, it was like
There is
an expo or something
Yeah.
where you go and look, yeah.
Yeah.
that was sent out.
Oh, was it set up? Okay.
There was an invitation sent out to you all
Right.
from Karen Gilbert and Dr. Lavecchio.
Okay.
Oh, and I forwarded it to everybody.
We forwarded it and I put it on, and I had Molly put it on the
Okay.
on your calendar so
Okay.
that
Because
you
I
all
looked
got
at
it
when it
again.
came to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
So
that's right,
that
that's
was
where I
sent-
saw it, and then
yeah.
he measured it, so
Yeah.
I'll have to.
So that was sent
go back
out to
and
you
look.
on Thursday or Friday,
Okay.
the invitation. Because Molly resent it to everybody what
Okay.
you did.
Okay. So another thing that I see that maybe we should.
Also,
Go ahead.
just to back up, when we talk about the board, are we gonna have someone from technology on Saturday as well?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, on Friday, I'm gonna have someone it'll be on Friday, so yeah, I guess technology will be in the building.
There's somebody in tech will be there on
You mean,
Thursday.
what do you mean in terms of,
We have to,
technology, like,
Right.
to help in case something goes wrong with technology?
No, I mean, because when you talking about the budget, I'm talking about with the board budget. Because I would like to know what's the prices of the device, of all the devices
Sure.
that are being used as well. Prior to that meeting, if we could get the email out to, what's the prices of the.
like an iPad and
Right.
versus that.
Yeah,
She
I
already
have
does
that.
I remember we saw
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that'd be fine, just put it on.
Okay.
Yeah.
But a replacement that's, I think it was 900 something for
Yes.
like that now.
Yes.
All right, I have another suggestion, and that is, I'm looking at the things that we had this work sessions topic.
Mhm.
And I thought Wendy wanted, didn't she want like the student code of conduct? She had some ARs too that she really wanted to go over,
So
So
the,
that-
or maybe you know about that.
Well, on the student code of conduct,
Yeah.
I don't think it's ready
To do.
to
Okay.
do. No, I really feel that it's missing significant input from people. So I think that,
Okay. What was state of the school's breakfast?
the state of the school breakfast is the board's state of the school breakfast that we hold every year, and you all have to decide if you want to continue to do it. And if so, we need to get started on that,
Well, then let's put that under board budget, right? Because wouldn't it be a budget
Yeah,
item?
yes,
Okay, so be sure that's there too.
And that's on which day is that?
that's gonna be Friday.
We're still talking about.
Uh,
This is really a budget question.
Where's that at?
At 1 to 1:30.
I don't see that on
It's
my.
not on there, it's gonna write it in,
I'm writing it in.
she write it in.
It's under board budget, but we've got this would be one of the topics under there. Okay.
I think Robin just brought that topic up, right?
I
It's
brought
not,
it, I didn't put it on
Right,
the
it's-
agenda,
I-
it's not on this
I-
agenda, it was
yeah.
brought at your last agenda setting meeting.
Well, I'm just trying to knock
Yes,
this
yeah,
out.
yes.
yeah, okay.
All right, that's, all right. Now we had,
I had it on the previous, and then I thought, well, maybe that's a lunch item, since it was a real quick, but yeah, listed under board budget.
what about work plan 3.3?
I have that for Saturday.
Okay, very good. All right, so is there anything else you think that should go on Friday?
So under board budget, I have state of the school breakfast, I have the tablets, I have travel,
Those are-
I mean devices, not tablets, but I have
Yeah.
nice good devices.
And I think there may be some discussion, I know Tricia was one of the people that asked for board budget.
Correct.
So I think she wanted to have us go look at the budget now that we've made, we made some cuts to it when we cut, and just talk about the implications of those.
Exactly.
So look for the general, what the budget now says.
Well, yeah, okay, well, that's not my problem, but I think some of these things we should get into at that meeting and not into this meeting.
No, that's what I'm saying,
Those are items that
that's
are
what
gonna
I'm,
go
items
under
that
that
are gonna
heading.
be
Right,
under that, yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
we're not gonna go on that.
no.
All right, so then on Saturday, we can go over to Saturday. Same thing, so breakfast a little bit later. Call back to open session. And here we go, superintendent's organizational chart. Yeah,
so, I'll be prepared to
okay.
present, to the board, looking for approval of a position to the budget, yes.
Okay. All right. And the approval of a new position?
Yeah, that's what
Okay,
that's
sorry.
saying.
So the FOIA proposal, John Dowling, what is the proposal? Is this the same thing where he said that he had met with Wes Newton
Yes.
and had board action?
Yes,
Well, what is it?
I don't know. I just put it on there because that's what he presented, and that's what you all, I'm holding in place, Mark, because that's what you all suggested I do until you spoke with, you were gonna try to reach,
Mr. Newton?
yes, I'm trying to say.
Okay, well, first of all, John Dowling does not take my calls, so I cannot call him. He will not take my calls. Second of all, I've reached out to Wes Newton several times now via text and via phone messages, calling his office, leaving messages. Have not had a return call from him. So my recommendation would be, this comes off the agenda until somebody tells us what it's about. I just don't think that's right, because we don't know what it's about. People aren't answering to tell us what it's about. And I don't think it's fair that the board is blindsided, and that's my opinion, and you have input, you guys can have input, and,
I think if we were gonna have this on the agenda, what I would want, just like we have with everything else, I want documentation first, that we could look at it ahead of time, so that we're not walking in there without some idea. That would be my, if he can.
I agree.
If he can send us something,
Otherwise, it's like
Yeah.
FOIA proposal, I mean, that's just.
Do you want me to email him and ask him?
Yeah. And if he says there are no documents, we need what the discussion is about, he's proposed board approval, what's the motion?
Okay.
Do you
William?
will have any comments about that?
I have no comments about it.
Okay.
I figure he's a board member, hopefully he'll be bringing something that's pretty much, he's bringing a proposal to the board. I have no problem with him bringing a proposal to the board, to see what is.
But don't you think
what
you
it
should have
is.
time to evaluate it and research it?
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with that, but I mean, my thing is just that, you know, he's a board member, and I'm hoping that he will, like I said, yeah, that he will send us something to giving us a ballpark of what the proposal is going, so, or what is in regards.
So then we have the length of the board meetings, suggestions the board can discuss on ways to make our meetings less lengthy and more efficient.
Well, I mean, the meeting that we went at night, it wasn't because of what was on the agenda, I bet it, but it was this stuff with, about Berkeley County. And, you know, I can understand, we could be concerned about that, but you know, that's what prolonged the meeting.
I already brought those comments out,
Yeah.
Earl, at policy committee meeting, because exactly, if we had let the SCAGO people present their, you know, I've forgotten, 10, right, the PowerPoint that was maybe 10 slides, it would have been
Yeah.
so much
Yeah,
less lengthy.
yeah.
And that's why I think it should be a board discussion, everybody has to
Yeah.
contribute
Yeah.
to help make the meetings less lengthy and more efficient, and that's one way.
Do you think we want like a big, a whiteboard or something where somebody could write down the suggestions?
That's just what I thought of last night, and I thought you are the person, because you are the teacher. Exactly.
I was just thinking in terms of process for this,
Exactly.
that we just go right around the thing and everybody, and we just write them down, and then we
Here are the
discuss them.
suggestions, and
Here are the
which ones are we gonna
suggestions.
take? I think that's,
That's a good way to do it.
Okay, so can you get us a whiteboard? Okay.
all right, will you be the teacher?
I'll be the teacher.
That's just what I thought, it's so funny, you thought the same thing, and I'm not even a teacher. All right.
We've been to enough meetings, you
Yeah,
know, that's how
exactly.
they run, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
And so I allowed 2 hours for board policy, is
Yeah.
that enough time?
I think that's a good start, I mean, I think people will get, I just, we know
Okay.
from, SB and as we
Yeah.
know from the regular, policy committee meetings, it's 2 hours is plenty.
And then the board work plan, because other committees, now operations is going to tackle their PEs at their committee meeting, but they will be the only committee that would have looked at PEs. So as suggested before, I was going to present the board work plan as is, and then as committees updated the PEs, then we can update the work plan.
So do we need the work plan here then? Yes, okay, you got it here, okay.
Do you think,
Or I can move it and wait until after board or after committees have looked at the PEs. Because what it is committees, you all have to decide what you want the staff to report out.
Right, but it's gonna be done
at the committee level?
At the committee level.
So, and I think our plan is that we look at this in August.
Correct.
So can we look at it, will all the committees have met by
No.
the 20th?
The only committee that has it on their agenda right now is operations. Now, academics and finance meets on the 19th, academics meets on the 21st. So they'll meet and can do it for the September 3rd. Everyone will have met if you want to move this to the September meeting.
So I was just gonna say, if there are, I mean, that's already laid out as on a calendar, right? Right. And probably because some of those things are seasonal, right? Like when is the season for this, when is the season for that topic, right?
Like some things are like finance, it comes quarterly.
Right.
Other things are just annually. A lot of what's on here is more annually, except for the FOIA report. I think security might be more than once, but everything else is basically a once a year kind of report out kind of deal.
What are the August things on there, or August and September things on there?
I don't have anything for August.
Okay,
September would be,
Profession,
that's.
so that's academic, I
Yes.
guess, professional learning.
Yeah, that's one. So these.
Instructional time, that's academic.
Mhm.
Um,
Quarterly report for finance. The maintenance, cleaning facility, and they're doing theirs at their work set, at their
and
committee.
that's operations?
That's
Yeah,
operations,
yeah.
and it's already scheduled for this week.
Okay.
School community relations. Now, school community relations is one of those that's kind of jam, and we never know where to put it.
Where it falls.
Yeah, it just kind of hangs out there
So,
by itself.
you
So
know,
whose committee should that be?
Exactly, it doesn't fall under anybody.
Right now it says SCSD, what's that?
SC was, that was the superintendent.
Oh,
so when does
Because
the
it's
academic committee meet again?
the 21st.
Of August?
Mhm.
Okay, so, I mean, one of the things we really want to be communicating a lot about is our academic work.
Yes.
And I want to shift, I would like to shift the focus to that topic of the conversation.
Yes.
Maybe it's something we could include in that committee. How do you feel about that?
The
Meaning-
school community relations?
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I looked, right now, I know the 21st meeting, we were hoping to have the MOAs for the
So it's
schools
sort of a package.
that, because we haven't seen those yet, for the schools that had the,
Targeted.
the
The
targeted,
targeted
the
stuff.
TSI schools.
Okay.
Yeah.
We saw what they asked, what they were gonna do with in terms of their money, but we didn't ever see their plan.
Okay,
Yeah,
So
that's
we,
a good idea.
we were asking to see their plan, and
Okay.
that's,
so,
And those are gonna come back to the board, at the second meeting in September, we already said that. Actually, those TSIs, is that what you call them? And the
the
two.
priority schools.
I have the priority schools, because they were due to come back to the second meeting in August, so I had them on the August 20th agenda.
Well, we said actually
So
September.
you want them in
I think they
September?
should be
Okay.
together.
Okay, all right,
I
so wait a minute.
could have sworn we said in a meeting.
Because we were saying quarterly,
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
okay.
so we can, I'll move that to September.
okay,
You know, you're gonna have to look at the minutes though, because the board did decide already, I'm not sure we voted, I think we voted to have them in, it was either
Oh.
late May and early June.
June.
And I thought it was September, because I think we didn't think, it's not, August
Let
20th,
school get
we've
back
had one
together,
day
yeah,
of school.
yeah.
So I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure, do you remember, Earl?
I thought it was September.
Yeah, I
do
know.
too. And I don't think it was
Yeah.
September 3rd, I think it was.
The second, because they would come the second meet, they come the second meeting of the month.
Right.
Right.
the, academic committee has had, we generally have, last time we didn't, but we generally have a big
yeah, I did, yeah.
community there. So that's, so putting that in there wouldn't be a bad thing, because, the community has, seen how the academic committee works, and that we're listening to them, and that type of thing,
Yep,
so.
So,
okay.
take the work plan off and move it to our meeting in September? Is that,
So,
Is it something that the whole board has to discuss, or can
the board votes on
oh, the
the
board
plan?
votes on it?
And that
Okay.
is, this plan is part in the policy, so,
Okay,
so it seems to be that it should be coming to the board after the committees are reviewing it.
yes,
So I agree, so,
Yeah.
the second September meeting.
okay,
yeah.
so I'll take this
Yeah.
off.
So will we be shifting some of those things till after
It
that?
doesn't sound like it's really necessary.
Or
It's not
Okay,
really
perfect.
necessary.
From what they just said.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would say,
yeah.
You're correct.
okay. All right.
So it would be the second meeting in September or the first meeting in September?
Well, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, so we'll just, I'll bring it and you all
Yeah,
can look at
yeah.
the agenda topic and decide.
Right, one of the two meetings.
Yeah,
All right.
So that takes
Okay, I
care
think that takes care of the fourth session.
So the work session then means that we would end on Saturday
Wait
at
a
1
sec,
o'clock.
we have maybe one other thing. Kathy, you were gonna present the performance.
yes, so,
Oh,
and actually, this is what,
Alice.
Alice told me.
Mhm.
So I gave you the things that we're gonna talk about, and just
Yeah.
firm it up. And then I just presented to the board, it's not something that we vote on, she said that those
It's more of
job,
an informational.
it's more of an
thing.
informational thing,
Okay.
job expectations.
So from 12:30 to 1, we put,
Yeah, and what I'll do is, I'll put those, everyone will.
my performance expectations.
Yeah, just for the position, we won't.
Yeah.
Don't say your name.
Yeah, don't say.
So it'd be a PE or it's no?
No, it's not a
PE.
PE, it's just a job description.
Okay,
And we just,
It's the job description, we've updated the
we
job
updated the job description.
Job description update for,
you know, I think that might go better, not after the board policies.
Yeah, because they might think everyone will want to leave.
So how about, could we do it?
during the FOIA proposal that may or may not happen,
Yeah, either maybe before that.
okay, or during that time period?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
And really, if we put we load it into board, or I can send it out with an email to everybody and just saying,
Let Robin just load it.
okay, load it up and just,
after you check.
yeah. And then, so basically the whole thing is people are just supposed to read it
Mhm.
and look at it and be aware of it. It's,
Okay.
Alice told me it's not something we vote on, so.
So in there, either before or after the
Yeah.
FOIA proposal.
All right, so we have public comments for 15 minutes on the second day, or do you want 30 minutes?
Not, reading's fine.
Okay,
30 the first day.
30 and 15 for the second.
Yeah.
So we should technically be done by 1 o'clock. So I would ask Matt to just do a box lunch and then you all can take your boxes and go home. Or
Yeah.
not.
Or,
Or not do it at all. It's up to you.
I'd say maybe not do it.
Yeah, not too much.
Okay, so I have
What
you
do
do a
you
good
think?
breakfast and no lunch.
Yeah, give the
Okay.
breakfast and,
What do you think, just a good breakfast and forget
Good
lunch?
record, yeah, good
Yeah.
record.
All right,
We're good.
all right. No
Okay.
lunch.
Yeah.
All right,
Now,
so on to the 20th.
yeah. I don't, yeah, I'm there. All right, friends. Okay, the only thing we have so far for executive session is the proposed sale of property. And I don't think anything,
Is 5 o'clock fine?
yeah, that's fine. And maybe if that's it, we should just go to 5:30. I would
Okay.
leave it at 5, because there's probably gonna be other items under there, is my guess.
That's a hit and a ladder.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I would leave the time, and if we don't need it all, we can move to 5:30.
Okay. So under committee reports, operations, well, the results committee, they have met before. Operations is meeting this week.
Okay.
Finance will meet the day before the meeting, so I figured whatever the votes come out would not necessarily make this agenda, but she can just update it, or should I put it on? Because their meeting is after this is published.
Right. So, I'm sorry, so your question is?
So operations, whatever actions they take, will make this agenda, August 20th agenda, because they meet on Wednesday. Their actions would be done, so
Yep.
that I would have it for Thursday. Whatever actions that they made would be done for Thursday. They are also reviewing some ARs at the operations, there's quite a few. Most likely, if it's like academics, if there are changes, Wendy probably will not have the changes made for the next day for you to go into board docs by 5 o'clock on Thursday. So I was going to suggest that if operations makes recommendations to all, because they're gonna review PEs, they have a very lengty agenda. So
Okay.
they're gonna review PEs, they're gonna do, she's got quite a few ARs, they got a long agenda. So if the ARs are going to have changes like what they had in academics, they're not gonna be ready for Thursday by 5 o'clock. So I was gonna suggest to operations that they go on the September agenda under their report.
So do you think that's also then where finance should go to?
So I'm suggesting
Yeah.
finance, because finance is meeting on the 19th, the
And
day
so it
before.
can't be-
right.
They're not gonna have their items. She could make a report, if you want her to make a report saying that they met the day before, that's your call, so I don't know, but whatever actions come out will not be in time for the agenda, because the agenda would have already been posted, and it would not be in there on Thursday,
Right, it was less than 24
Right.
hours.
so.
So, I don't know, you say what you're.
Well, I think if we're gonna be asked to vote on anything, I wanna see it ahead of time. I don't wanna get it at that meeting
I agree
and
with
then
that.
have to, like, that's what I tried to do with that other vote last time. I wanna
Yeah, you
see it
did.
ahead of time, because
All right,
I
So
need
it's
time, I need
process
time
of
to
the
committee
process
report
and make
and
a
stuff.
Just need
decision.
to do research, that's
Right.
fine.
all right, so I should take finance committee off, because they will just be meeting on the 19th, the agenda will have already been posted.
Yep.
All right,
Ooh,
so
where are we at now with that now?
we're on
We're on
August 20th.
August 20th.
Yeah, well, no problem, but actually, I was in a very important phone call.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, with my,
That's fine,
okay.
we're just saying where we are.
And we're on August
We're under
20th,
committee report.
Reports.
right?
And we just kind of said that if the committee, we've talked about this, that we want to make sure that if we're gonna do any kind of voting or anything like that, we want the information beforehand,
Right.
so that we can look at it. So if the committee's just meeting the day before, there's no chance that that will happen.
It's the night
Because-
before.
The night before, because we need, our policy actually says everything should be in by 5 o'clock on the Thursday.
They should have it to me by 5
5
o'clock
o'clock
on the
on
Thursday, and I should have it posted on Thursday evening,
Right.
so that you can have it.
And one of the things I keep hearing from board members is they don't want stuff thrown at us at the last minute. So I think if we start adhering to that from staff and from ourselves included, then we will, so I guess you could have a verbal report. You just kind of like this is what we talked about, if you if the person wanted, but no kind of voting or anything, motions come forward, right?
No action.
No action.
So,
That would be my
once again, so
recommendation.
I leave it so that in case she wants to make a verbal report on what
Right.
they meant the night before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I would set it, I would, what shall I say, specify it right here.
Committee
Verbal
report.
Yeah,
All right,
No action.
yeah.
so technically, the only committee that would have met for if there's any action coming out would be operations. Because operations is meeting, and they're gonna have approval of the PE, they have some recommendations. Operations has a big agenda for Wednesday. So whatever actions comes out of Wednesday will make it in time for
Sure.
Thursday, except for the ARs, and the board didn't vote, and the boards didn't vote on ARs anyway.
Right.
So I was suggesting that Wendy bring the ARs back in September after, if there are any changes.
Yeah, that's not usable, but they will be on here. So what about, now
That-
you're confusing me, what about academics
Yeah,
and ad hoc
academic.
results?
Academics had one
We did
meeting,
have a meeting.
and you did it on the unified grade reporting.
No, that's already been on
That
here.
one's
That's the
already been
next
done.
one.
This is the alternative school
Yeah.
plan.
That one, yeah, but I was gonna say, yeah, I forgot, but
So
yes,
we could report out, I don't know what, I don't think the board votes on this.
They
either.
don't?
Yeah,
But I
It's
think
an
you should
AR.
report on it
report on it, yeah.
and present it, or
Okay.
Wendy presents it, or whoever presents it.
Would it be Carmen Dillard or Kiki that would present it?
I think Kiki.
Kiki and Carmen.
Yeah.
Kiki
The
and
alternatives?
Carmen,
The,
It was
yeah,
the
the promising student program,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, Carmen.
that was Carmen and
Carmen
Kiki
and
who
Kiki,
did that.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Okay, so that's academics, then
Mm-hmm.
what about ad hoc results? They've met a few times.
so,
Yes, and we have a meeting,
We have a meeting
you
on the
actually have
20th,
a,
right?
no, you have a meeting on the 19th.
on the
again.
19th.
Yeah.
But you've already
But you
met.
have already
We have already met. So I think there's information, there's certainly nothing that we would be, no action at this point. It's just
So it's just a committee report.
a committee report.
Yeah, and that was your, how you're gonna, do the analysis, like.
Right,
with how do you know which
the
students are on grade
metrics.
level?
Right, the metrics and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you'll have a report, academics will, operations will, finance, we're gonna move to the next time because they're not gonna have the info.
Well,
Or unless they just wanna
a
get a report,
verbal report, yeah,
Report, that's
yeah.
fine. But no voting,
Yeah.
okay.
All right, so now under superintendent's report, you want me to move the priority school updates. You said that should go in September.
I thought so, because,
Okay.
and honestly, you're gonna have to look at some minutes, because I really think we said it was September.
Okay.
And that would have been, late June, late May.
The last,
I think it's
Pat Frida did hers in June because she was unable to come in May.
Exactly.
Freddie
So I
did his
think-
in May.
So it was in one of the May meetings.
Yeah, and I know that, Freddie's had one meeting since then, because it was last week.
Right, last Thursday.
Yep, and then I know Pat Frida will have had two, because she's having one tomorrow,
Oh, good.
and there was one, in the evening.
So, I don't know, the only way that I would say it should be here was if that's what the board decided, and
Right,
off the top of
yeah,
my head, I really think it's
It was
September.
September, all right, then I'll go and make sure.
yeah.
Okay.
So as long, yeah, that's what we have to ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if it's September, then that comes off.
All right.
So then I wouldn't have anything under student achievement.
No, I mean, we're really just wrapping up here,
Yeah.
but our chief instructional officer will be here officially on the 19th, day one.
Oh, great.
Let's have her
Yes,
So,
come before the public.
okay?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I thought that might be good. The other thing is,
Please.
you know, that's the second day of school.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
would love to give the board just a report on how day one went.
that'd be great.
Okay, I don't know where that would fit in terms of the goals, but, maybe it could be just the intro before
Like
we
we
get
had
into
before,
it.
exactly, you had like other matters or.
Yeah.
I did it under other matters.
Yeah, okay?
I think, oh, that would be perfect.
So that way we can talk about it.
We wanna meet her.
So
Yeah.
under other
We wanna
matters.
know how school is the first day.
Budgetary,
School opening.
By the way, well,
school opening.
we had Friday, we had principals meeting, and, she Skyped in
Yeah.
to, just say hello to the principals and that sort of thing. And, from what I heard from the principals, it was very well received, it was very business,
Good.
so.
That's what I heard too on Saturday.
Oh, you heard too?
Yeah,
You got a good
yeah,
report?
they were like, oh, it's gonna be great, we met our new, I'm like, you better read out.
It's just a Skype.
Yeah,
phone,
yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
it's good.
All right.
So then under fiscal responsibility, we have the board monthly budget, so you will get the, where we are as of July.
So will that be different from what the board sees at the work session?
It's basically the same. It would be the same.
But the public deserves to see it too.
Yes,
but-
that's right, yeah.
So it's the same budget. Then you have the monthly transparency, the
Yeah.
transparency report, and then you have
The
the,
report of
the, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, under board business, now,
Robert?
this is something that, the board, you don't necessarily have to vote on this. You do it as, it comes from the superintendent's recommendation. And as Robert said, the board, it kind of comes to you all out of courtesy, they've been doing it in the past, but they asked the board to go ahead and take a vote. But it's the selection of the risk contractor for River Ridge Academy and the May River High School additions. So your approval of the selection of the contract manager, the risk contractor. So I was providing this information. It's superintendent, Robert wanted it under the superintendent's report, but if the vote on it, I said it needs to be under board business if you vote. So it's not something, they just go ahead. So I put it under board
We're gonna
business.
be voting on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the consent agenda,
Yeah. Which just has one set of minutes, okay.
because the work sessions
Yeah.
won't be done, because we're not gonna be done with the work
So-
session.
Does,
Yeah, they won't be.
Right.
does this, I don't know,
I thought with the contract recommendation before we had signed it or
I know.
whatever, shouldn't that be an executive session?
He said, that one would not be,
Not that one, no.
not that one.
Okay.
And is this something that we already approved when we approved the, what do you
The
call it?
8%,
Yes, the 8%,
Summer,
yes.
yeah, the
This-
summer thing.
That's what I'm just trying
Yes,
to make
yes.
sure that this is, we're not approving any new money.
No, no,
Yeah.
no.
This is, okay.
Right, you're not allocating any new funds or anything for that.
It went through an RFP process.
Whoa. Okay, all right. So, I can't think of anything else. So, announcements, I think it would be really helpful, I understood, you know, what you said, Will, that we should all have the ability to say announcements, but I think it would be helpful if they were written there, to know this is the meeting, or, you know, we already announced, I announced the school law conference, and about half of us are going to that.
And Molly's gonna give you your packets on Friday.
Okay,
So those of you who are going to the conference, you'll have your folder on Friday.
so what do you see as announcements here?
I don't know what's coming up. William?
I'm not sure, but I mean, like I said, I'm gonna stick with myself. We all like the official the announcement that we need to make, then it shouldn't be a problem with us making an announcement. I mean, this whole thing doesn't need to be orchestrated. I mean, because, you know, that intends to, everybody doesn't like things like that. And I just think that it's not a job to take people's rights from the board meetings as elected officials. I'm not gonna jump into that.
There's nothing in our policy about announcements.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
No, this is just something you just,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And that's,
a question of preference, I believe.
I just thought of one other thing. When we have our discussion about the length of the meetings for at the work session, I think part of that has to include, John Dowling has recommended, or he asked, could we have future topics on the agenda?
So,
But that changes it. It's unlike a committee meeting where you interact with the public and they ask questions or you answer them back or whatever. Whereas a board meeting is very different. It's more formal, and we already have a process for how you get something on the agenda. But I think that's where I put it, because that's the only one I can think of that I got that we didn't cover.
okay.
did anybody else get anything to add to the, did you get anything?
No.
Did anybody else get anything?
Right. If there's no further business, we
Okay.
have a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Academic is doing.
And you second, we all approved it.